This is an audio test of the pro streamer Crypto Jack.
Chat, how was that? I think I saw it. Yeah. There we go. All right, I got him. Got him. Okay, I can. My heart rate can drop now.
Do you have a live? I don't know who was it. Somebody was trading with like a heart rate monitor. Some of the shit I see on Twitch is just so cringe. It's so cringe.
Well, I have a hot tub usually.
Oh god. I saw that tweet, that Simpsons thing. Hilarious, by the way, because
it's so freaking true. God.
So true. Yeah, Twitch has turned into like MFC, Chatterbait, like all these other like, you know, skin peddling platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, is it porn? Is it not? Yeah. But anyway, for my little justification, chat, we were talking about Link a second ago. And the only reason I hopped out was because we looked like we were near resistance, and I had bought kind of down here at support, and that was it. It's not some conviction trade. I just little swing play, and don't hate me if you're a Link maximalist.
It's fair. Just, you know, have fun. Have fun staying poor.
Have fun staying poor. Oh my god. Hashtag HFSP. Okay, so
I want to say one thing real quick. My Twitter handle is OM. You spelled it right. I spelled it wrong, but it's at OM at the end. Yeah, that's okay. It's not your fault.
It kind of is my fault, but you're nice about it.
No, because this is actually the truth. When I made my Gmail account, when Gmail was beta, whenever that was, Carpe Noctam was taken, so I had to swap it up for OM.
I was like, well, the Latin is.
It's true. You're right. The Latin is a UM, and that's
technically.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, so let me also go ahead and pull up Josh's Ichimoku settings.
That's a good point. I am an Ichi Maxi. I've never really thought about it like that, but it's so true. I don't really care what I trade.
No, but you don't need to do anything different. Like, your hit rate is so high, it's stupid.
Yeah, okay. I think people see me. People may think of me as a BTC Maxi, but not really.
But you're not.
I'll hold it for years, the rest of my life. But...
Big reveal, chat. Big reveal here.
I'll trade anything. I'll trade anything with a pulse. Dogecoin, man. Speaking of pulse.
Wait, like humans or like wait, what?
Sure, we can trade water futures. That's human, right?
Oh my god, I haven't looked at the cloud at Dogecoin. Have you seen this?
It's insane. Go to the weekly USD chart. The one you have. Oh, you have to go to like Poloniex or something.
Like Doge. Actual USD?
Yeah. You have to type Doge USD.
There's a Bitfinex one. You want that?
No, I don't think that'll have enough history. It probably has to be Polo, because Polo has it back to like 2016 or before.
Right. Bitcoin. There's the calculated buy.
Yeah, that one's good.
Okay, all right. Oh my god.
Look where had you get in on that breakout all the way at the bottom. Basically January. I mean, all the alt charts look like this, but
that was your entry? Like right in there?
So
hold on, let me turn off.
I traded it from December 2019 to April 2020.
Okay.
It was a 2x, which is why I opened and closed it, but it wasn't based on anything cloud related. I hadn't seen what the cloud looked like until later on, but since January you had that breakout, that Kumo breakout on the price versus cloud, and that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote, and a lot of charts look just like that.
But I don't know, honestly, like if we're being real here, I don't know how you would trade this when there's no gap. Like, how do I know when it's actually crossed? You know?
Well, it gave you permission to be long or to buy it in January, and at this point it's just a hold. Like there's no other signals to take here.
You just don't sell.
It's insane, and a lot of people are going to get wrecked because it will go to zero. Like there's no doubt in my mind this is going to crumble to zero, and there's going to be, you know, some crazy stuff happen, but I don't know where it's going to top or peak, but it will go to zero, because that's you're going to have It's not going to stay at 0, but keep in mind, like, it will go to 0 very, very shortly when
Agreed.
the top is in.
I have several no coiner friends who have literally asked me, and the way they word it just sends a shudder down my spine. How do I buy the doggy coin stock? Like, this is how it's phrased to me. How do I buy the doggy coin stock? Because it's going to $1. Or there's the other side that says it's more valuable than Bitcoin. I've heard both.
Yeah.
I've heard both.
Well, what kicked it off was like a mixture of bots early on plus TikTok early on. This is like even before the big pump. We're talking like 2020, mid 2020s. Because that was my trade. Like, I 2x'd it in 2020, and I was like, okay, that's good enough.
Yeah, I'll take it. Right.
So then after that, it was GME Robinhood effect. And now we're just seeing a compounding, continuous, nonstop Elon, Robinhood. Look at ETC. ETC is the same. You know, it's moving because it's on Robinhood, really. Let's be honest, right?
Well, so I like to have my own little tinfoil hat theories. I don't think this is just the Robinhood effect, quote unquote, because I think if that was the case, like, this would be going off all the time, nonstop. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Like just pick the coin of the week, and they're all going to do this. I really think the exchanges are working. Like, there's big money. Like, the daily volume, my buddy was telling me, was like $20 billion today versus Bitcoin's was 60 billion in 24 hours. It had a third of the volume. Like, that's not just pump and dump numbers. Like, there's stupid money going into this, like big dick money pushing this thing up.
Yeah, it's not just Robinhood. I agree.
Yeah,
but it's like GME. GME wasn't just Robinhood. GME
right. It was hedge funds getting in on it. Right.
So we are seeing that most likely with Robinhood or with Doge as well, for sure. So it's definitely lots of everything right now for Doge, which is just, it's so bizarre. I can't remember 2017 being this bizarre. I mean,
I don't either.
This is several multiples extra of bizarre.
Josh, if you pull my stream up, or if you still have it up, this is what I like to show chat. Chat, if you're new to the stream, let me show you this really quick. This is a nice little succinct history of Doge on the Bitcoin pair. So how many pieces of a Bitcoin does it take to buy a Doge, right? And so it kind of oscillates year over year. Sometimes it's about 100 sats, and sometimes it's down to the 30s, 20 to 30 range. So for a period of time, that was the game. You sell here, you buy here. You sell here, you buy here, and on and on and on. So let me just bring it to current, and hopefully you can appreciate. Oh, the camera froze again? Okay, well, whatever. Hopefully you can appreciate just how crazy this is. And here I am scrolling. I have to change. Like, this is an order of magnitude higher. This is crazy.
So insane. From basically 0. Like, it was
right.
It was in December. It was basically 0 effectively from where it is now. It's unreal. It's up 1,000x or 1,000x, 10,000%, whatever.
Something like that. Yeah. I like to tell chat that I sold like 500,000 Doge, less than 10 cents, like 7 cents, and I was like super happy about that.
Yeah.
And here we are. You know, like, oh, that's a house. Okay.
Yeah.
No big deal. Just a house. Deal. No big deal.
Yeah.
We don't need that. It's fine. It's just money. No, but for real, chat, if you're in this game long enough, this kind of stuff happens all the time. Like, you're gonna get left out. You have to make a choice. You FOMO and you chase, or you don't. And yeah, in this scenario, FOMO chasing would have probably benefited you. I mean, let's just look at this. But that is not always going to be the case. So you just got to have some discipline, some trade discipline.
Yeah, and that's part of why this is going to go to 0, is because all the people FOMOing in are going to panic. It happens. Like, you know, there's going to be headlines. Doge loses billions yesterday or something. You know, I can just see it now.
Something. So this Doge pump. When is the last time, Josh, that you remember alts going crazy and pumping, like face melting pumping, and outperforming Bitcoin in a manner like this? Can you remember another time like that?
I mean, compared to this, it's 2017 is like the only thing that comes to mind, but it's not even close to what's happening now.
That is fair.
It's just I don't even know. You know,
it's disgusting.
Absolutely insane. You just have to hope. This is why for me, alt is always just a buy and hold game, because like you already mentioned, this happens all the time, and you don't want to be FOMOing and chasing anything. You just have to be ready. So,
like my rule is, if like I'll buy the lows. I'll set, you know, if I can find an area that I'll buy and make my entries and sit on it, and then when it pumps, I'm out. And then I close the tab, and like I remove it from the trading view and the whole deal. Like I don't look at it.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I'm the same way.
Chat's blowing up about cummies as well. Chat, you guys need to calm down.
I haven't looked at that chart. I hope it's not actually a chart. I know it exists.
It's real. It's real. My parents were literally watching the stream. My sweet little parents, and somebody paid me to look up the cummies chart, and they were really offended. They called me the next day. That's real. That's like no bullshit.
Man.
Okay.
So yeah, that's Doge. That's all I really wanted to say about it.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can't not acknowledge how insane it is, right?
It's insane. So let's do this really quick. Let's go over. Chat, I am going to and by the way, chat, I'm having camera issues, so I'm sure it'll freeze off and on. It takes me 2 seconds to do what I need to do to unfreeze it. Just call it out in chat when it happens, and I'll fix it. And I apologize. Between streams, I'll see if I can permanently fix it. But this is my second stream to use it, so apologies. But what we're gonna do, we have Josh here because he put out a really, really good video that did not get near enough likes, retweets, whatever. I just posted it in the chat, and I want you guys to be sure to check this out. Now, originally, we were gonna watch this video as a group, and maybe we'll still do that, maybe next stream, whatever. But now that we have the man, the myth, the legend here himself, we're just gonna go over some of the key bullet points. So I have my screen up. You have Josh's voice. He's going to kind of direct us on what to do, but I'll steer the ship, so to speak. And Josh, where do you want to start the conversation off?
Well, the key thing to know is if you're a trend trader, you need trend metrics that you can trust. And for me, what got me there was very high time frame stuff. So even though it's the daily time frame, it's actually the 2-day cloud data capture, meaning it uses like 60 days effectively or more, of 240 days, however you want to think about it. And it takes all that into account. So if you don't know the cloud, how it works, if we're above the cloud price-wise, we're bullish. If we have a bullish blue over red line cross, then we are more bullish, basically. So the idea is to get in at the bottom, right? And I try to tweet about this and yell at it from the mountaintops anytime it happens. So that's the most vanilla type of trade. Long entry is exactly what we saw in October, and it worked out, right? It doesn't always work out like this. You know, Doge doesn't always pump 10,000%, but when it does, those trades pay for the trades that don't by several multiples. So it doesn't matter where price goes. Like that's the big thing, really, people need to realize.
And that's why you will actually turn price off sometimes and look at it just as the trend itself, like this.
Right. Because if you trust your system and it tells you go long here, go short here, this is overbought, this is oversold, you know, the price is just secondary to what you're really trying to look at anyway, right? So if the go long signal is the bullish cross at the bottom, the bearish cross at the top, the first one since October, tells you time to get out. If you're long since October, the cloud is telling you it's time to jump out. Now, it doesn't mean that the bull trend is over. It just means the intra trend stuff has slowed down. And really the big thing for me here is if this sells off from here and I don't act on this, I say to myself, God, I'm so fucking stupid, because it told me and I knew better and I should have trusted this. And every time I don't trust the daily cloud and I ignore it, I look back at it and I say, what the fuck was I thinking? Because it was right there in front of me, right?
Yeah.
So that's the really big thing to keep in mind. So once we have the bearish TK cross, what happens now? Two possibilities. First possibility is we recross bullish on the TK cross, just like we did in October, except we stay above the cloud the whole time. And if you we can look at 2017 in a second, but that happens frequently when we get super strong bullish continuation. It overall, on balance, it doesn't happen super frequently on the daily chart, but yeah, something like that. Exactly. But when it does happen, again, that's another signal that tells you, okay, loser, idiot trader, this is your long signal, right? You may have sold everything 10 days ago, 30 days ago because of this TK cross, but now the cloud is telling you it's safe to get back in the water. The shower is warm, whatever, right? Green light, red light, however you want to think about that.
Right.
It's telling you, okay, it's time to get back in. And any EMA cross or MA cross is very similar to this. Ichimoku is just these settings, this time frame is slower than your basic crosses, basically. And it's, for me, it's more trustworthy just because of the hit rate component. So that's one option. One option is bullish, and it's easier to actually get back into the trade because it's a very clear signal, right? Just like October, that's all it is. Go long. The second option is not a vanilla type of trade, but it's an edge-to-edge trade in the cloud, which would be a move from one edge of the cloud to the other edge of the cloud. Yeah. And these are magical and happen everywhere on any time frame. And once you start to see enough of them, you realize, like, this is what to look for before it happens. This is the setup. We can talk about LTC eventually as well, but
right.
Yeah.
We will.
It happened on ETH-BTC. It happened on ETH-USD on the weekly. It happened on BTC-USD on the weekly. It happened on BTC-USD in April 2019. I mean, it just, these sort of things happen all the time. And you can kind of think of it as just a support test, support failure, reaching for the next support.
Right.
And that's really how I think of it. And another point to remember for the edge-to-edge moves is you want a congruent cross on the TK lines. So the previous dip into the cloud had a bullish cross still. So that said, okay, we're not ready to close our longs yet. Now it's told you to close your long, and now you're looking for the short or the long re-entry. But
right. So just to make sure I'm clear, you're saying even though the price broke down, that in itself was not a sell signal. But what was the sell signal is the subsequent action where it didn't just completely, retake and make new highs and send the fast moving average high, up above and prevent a cross of some sort. Like some scenario like that would have been bullish and, keep your longs open, that kind of thing. But that's not what we saw. And in fact, the last couple of days of price action have in fact sent a signal to close any longs, just to paraphrase, that you have had, like, this was the close signal. That is the bookend of a long that started back in October of 2020.
Right.
And as you mentioned, because you have to dodge tomatoes and shoes like George Bush and stuff, but there is a chance that everything works out and it's no big deal and everything is fine and price recovers and we keep going. But you can't trade that way. You can't hope. You have to wait for the actual clear signal.
Correct.
All right.
So, excuse me. Yeah. So we're in this neutral, like, limbo, river of sticks territory where we are still more bullish than neutral, but we're risking some extremely bearish stuff rather quickly. It's not over yet, and we could say, okay, in June, we're going to be bullish again. Typically, if we do get a bullish TK recross above the cloud, it takes 10 to 30 days from the previous bullish or bearish TK cross. So we've got some time, and we may even see both those things. We may even see an edge-to-edge move all the way down to 39 with a quick pull up to 56 plus. I don't know, but all I know is the two trade setups I'm looking for are those exact things right now. And so that's just BTC, and that's definitely different than ETH, and it's definitely different than alts and DeFi and all this other stuff.
Right.
100%. You have to trade this stuff independently right now because none of it's moving together really at all. BTC is being correlated with legacy more than anything, less than ETH. Doge just on a journey of its own, obviously.
Right.
So yeah. Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
So we've got a month to figure it out, basically.
Okay.
Seasonality wise, Q2's bullish, Q3 is bearish. So I don't have a lot of hope going into Q3 if we don't figure it out.
Yep.
That we're gonna just magically be bullish again into Q3.
Have you followed any of the Wyckoff discussion of like kind of the recent price action and stuff? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I think you drawing like a diagonal Wyckofian distribution up here. It was on a lower time frame though, right? It wasn't on the daily.
Yeah, no, it's on the daily.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would make sense then. Yeah, that's another way to say breaking the ice or whatever the term is for the Wyckoff stuff.
Oh yeah, the now you said that, I can't think of what it's actually called.
On the lows, that's the creek, or at least
the creek. Yeah, jumping the creek. Yeah. So here's what I find really interesting. So this price action on Ichimoku, okay, that caused the bearish cross, the bearish TK cross, that is just as bearish as far as price action goes within the Wyckovian world as this failure right here. So the whole dance, the whole song and dance here is about finding a key level that price it cannot get over, and attempts to a couple of times, and then it finally gives one last thrust to actually get over it. So the fact that this was like kind of a key signal both for me, for Bitcoin Schmitcoin, for a few others like that are way more advanced in the Wyckoff world than I am, the fact that lines right up with what you're saying on this, that's really interesting to me. And what it actually tells me is no matter how you're coming at this, like whatever your macro trade scheme is, whether it's Ichimoku, Wyckoff, whatever, a lot of things are saying, hey, you need to wake up. Like it's not up only TV. It's but there are ebbs and flows to the market, and sometimes things go down, at least for a little bit.
Right, and that doesn't mean this is over completely. It doesn't mean I hate Bitcoin because I'm shorting it, right?
Right.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna have fun saying poor. I'm just trading the signals, right?
Right.
I'm just, at the end of the day, that's what I'm doing. I'm protecting my own self by just doing what I should be doing.
Right. Okay. So before chat gets really mad, there are some furious people in the chat right now. Let's look at 2017 because I think this was really important to add. So you mentioned in your video there were a number of times when we would get a bearish cross and then very shortly after a bullish cross. Bearish, bullish. Bearish, right. Bullish. We could absolutely get something like that, and that's fine. But
right. And you have to change your mind. You have to be ready to act on that sort of thing. But like you already said, you can't just hope that it's going to work out, Because that one time you're like, nah, I'm not even going to close the trades. That's when it ends up being that big guy right there. Right. And that could have happened at any point along the 2017 trail, but it didn't, right?
Right.
That's why you can't just, you have to be a slightly reactionary, but know what to look for. That's kind of how
that's it. You just, a lot of people, even in the chat, like a lot of people want to fire and forget. Hey, I'm just going to buy and I'll be back in 6 months and I'll be, here to collect all my winnings and scoop my money off the table and go buy a house or something.
Well, if you're hodling for years, what do you care what I have to say on the daily, right? I can understand that.
That's fair. That's fair.
That time has passed. That was October 2020, right? That is not today. October 2020, what was price? Sub 10K? I don't even know.
Yeah, it was like 9.
Yeah. So, that was your sell or buy and walk away. So take that for what you will. People who say that, if anything, you could just hedge your cold storage, 10x or 5x long or short rather. And if we get higher highs, you close the hedge. If you are right, then you stay at your USD notional value, and then you just rebuy at any lower point that you'd like. Yeah, that's one way to do it. That's one way to hedge your cold storage.
I think that's fair. It's also very interesting too. By the way, thank you for the raids, all the follows, the biddies, the everything. All you guys are great. Typically, I'm a lot more interactive with chat, but when we have guests here, I want to give them my full attention. Thanks for.
Yeah, sorry, chat. We're just
you chat
it up here. Chat.
Oh, look, chat's here.
I am reading chat, and I forget who it was. Somebody at the very beginning said thanks for my content, and I was muted maliciously, viciously.
Malicious? No, it was on purpose. Okay. It was very much on purpose.
So thank you, whoever that was. Anyway,
but thank you guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, chat.
Thanks, chat. Okay, so Chad, if you guys are new to the stream, whatever, what I like to do, typically it's just me. I don't usually have a lot of guests on, but what we'll start with is Bitcoin. What is the Bitcoin price action? What are we expecting? What are we looking at? Do I have a crystal ball? No. Do any of us? No. But what I think we do pretty well is we stay very unemotional. We don't care. We're not going to get stuck. I am a Bitcoin maximalist in that every trade I do is to make more Bitcoin. It is not to make more Ethereum or make more Litecoin or whatever. So, but I will use those things to try and make more Bitcoin, and that is my goal. So with that in mind, I also want to know if Bitcoin looks like it's topping, and even if it's a discussion about a potential cycle top in May of what should be, another 7 months of nothing but bull, we're going to have that conversation. And that's just, it's not going to be comfortable sometimes, but that's what we do. That's just the reality of it. So
if you're a true trader, you don't care where price is going. You just care that you're on the right side of the direction. So if anything, you should be happy that we're coming out of 30 to 60 days of sideways here, and we may see a move to 39K, right? Like,
yeah,
I don't care where we're going. I just want to go somewhere, right?
Exactly right. And what I always like, and like if people get stuck in a trade the wrong way, it is assuming it's like spot only and not leverage or whatever. But what I like to say is, look, as soon as we find the bottom, then we start the next leg up. So whether that's 39, whatever it ends up being, like, we just got to get there. So yeah, it sucks when things are going down, but the harder and faster this thing falls, the faster the V recovery. We can all move on. We can all get up.
Right. And you don't need to be, not you, but people don't need to be emotional about it. And you're better off without having your head in the sand. If just think of it like a pendulum, if we're completely bullish, great, but that's eventually going to swing, just like it is for these alts.
No, it can't be right. That can't be right. I'm sorry, Josh. Up only.
And it goes from bullish to neutral to bearish, right? Like that's just part of the game,
Yeah, 100%.
And never was that more clear than it was in 2019 when we had an insane run, but it was not an all-time high retest. It was not it was just kind of, it was a great run. It was a great percentage move off the lows of 3K, but it wasn't like now,
So I want to make a point, and I do want your input genuinely, and I think a lot of people in chat want this input as well. So I have a lot of people that I respect who are arguing with me that this cannot be a top. It literally can't be a top for two reasons. And these are, I think, pretty fair arguments. So let me just cover them super quick. Number one, we have been in this trade range. Let's say I'm going to start it right here. Arguably 90 days, almost 90 days. Okay. Whereas the last cycle top, no one had 90 days to get out. In fact, they had just barely over 40. So we have more than doubled the period of time we spent in our quote potential top, right? And then number two, so that's the first point that I hear that's actually, seems pretty fair. And number two is that we have not had, at least during this top portion, we've not had our blow off tops, our, make the curve go back in time and all that kind of stuff. We hadn't seen that. So what do you think? What's your thoughts on those 2 points?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a macro cycle top here. We could easily, like I said, make this bearish edge to 39, bounce from 39 to 55, do a bunch of nothing for Q3, and then we're on our merry way for Q4. I do expect Q4 to be bullish based on seasonality. I expect Q3 to be dog water, garbage. So that's in the back of my mind. It doesn't mean that I think this is all over. We can look at other stuff. We can look at look into Bitcoin.com charts. He's got a great website. I forget his name, Philip Swift or something. Yeah, that one. So he's got a bunch of charts. PyCycle's the worst of them. But,
I knew you would like that. I knew you'd like that. All right, sorry, chat. Your eyes are gonna have to bleed for a minute. I can't do the dark mode. Which one do you want to pull up, Josh?
Just the MA multiplier is fine. The 2-year MA multiplier, the first one.
Got it.
So if you go through all these charts though collectively and you look at the back testing, where are we now versus where were we in 2011, 2013, 2017, right? What are the signals relative to the back testing? All of them except PyCycle Top will tell you that we have more room to go yet. We have at least one more leg in us. Are we close to the top? Yes. Are we closer to the top than the bottom? Yes. But all of them say that we have a ways to go. For me, it's like bottom of the 8th inning. You know, we're getting close. We're getting close, for sure. But we're not there yet. So based on all of that, I could say, all right, yeah, we could easily get this bullish TK recross above the cloud. That's going to align with all of this stuff. Even stock to flow likes 82 plus, and I am not a fan of stock to flow.
But it's completely accurate with no flaws. What's wrong with you?
It's the best meme that ever existed. Stock to flow.
I like how the Plan B guy was like, "Hey, by the way, this is not like technically accurate, but hey, it matches pretty good." And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Rock on. Let's roll."
I mean, if it works out, we're all gonna be rich, right? Who cares? So there's no point like arguing with people about it. These people get like so heated about stock to flow. It's like, guys, who cares?
Right. Okay, watch this, guys. Watch. Click, and I move on. I go to a different chart, and I even lose sleep about it.
Right. So yeah, if you look at all these charts, they say we're close, but we're not there yet. You know, that's another good one that I haven't really looked at in a while. But again, you're seeing like these are the levels of back-tested cells, right? We're not there yet. You know, whatever that is, that's above 100K, isn't it, at the top?
Yeah. Up here, it's like 120, whatever.
Yeah. So,
check this out too. I noticed this. It looked like there was this mean reversion, you know, kind of the red or green each time, like with each leg up. And the green would be right at your, you know, your 39, your edge to edge play. So some of these do, I can see, like you were saying, auto scale this.
And the other part about this is you have to think logically, like look at ETH, look at Doge. People can't get in a big way and feel good about it. They want that dip.
Yeah.
ETFD is a thing because it's real. People want to feel comfortable with their entries. We're talking about like large position sizing, leverage, whatever. You can't just FOMO in on everything you see and expect it to work out. You know, you can't buy ETH at 3,300 on 10x leverage, the $1 million position or whatever, and think, you know, everything's gonna be fine. I'm Alex Weiss, right? Like, not dunking on him, but not everybody can do what he does and be successful. You know,
right.
So during a bull market, obviously dips are important. It allows people to feel comfortable enough to get in, you know, so you get to think of it like that as well.
Like there's a lot of money on the sidelines who have watched this entire run up and they're like, no,
really good meme too. There's money on the sidelines.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, just think about it. If you were in charge of a $1 trillion hedge fund, are you really going to just ape into this thing as it's going up? No, you're not. You're going to wait for some kind of 30 to 40% pullback. Now, maybe if you timed it right, you did get in here, maybe in here, you know, but okay. So you had two opportunities, two days worth of opportunities across however many months this has been. So I'm with you. I think it needs to breathe, but we shall see. Price is making an interesting little shove right now.
And pop on the 200-day moving average too.
Okay. On the daily.
You get a sec, yeah.
Oh, I know what you're caters.
Speaking of confluence or mean reversion, you know, a lot of this stuff is the same because it's using the same data. So the 200-day moving average is the other edge of the cloud, you know, so it's not like some magic secret, right? It's just the trade. It helps you with the trade setups, which is why I use the cloud. Okay,
so chat, I am leaving on the cloud. I'm getting rid of price, which won't change the data or anything. But this yellow, what do we want to? I guess I'll just leave it solid line. The yellow solid line is the 200-day moving average. Or EMA. Did you want moving average or EMA? Exponential moving average.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, roughly the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and you actually hit this on your video where you said if this did complete some kind of edge to edge, that it would correlate with this 200-day moving average, which would also correlate, I am suspecting, with my personal favorite from last cycle. So let's
20 week
20
SMA
week.
or whatever, 20 week MA.
20 week, exactly. So let's throw on the 20. Yep, there's 20. Where's the 20 week right now? Oh, it's above. It would have to go through.
Yeah, it's quite high still.
40, 46. So the 50, where would the 50 be? The 50's down at the 30s. So no clean lower weekly moving average.
Yeah, sometimes it lines up, sometimes it doesn't. But I just noticed the 200-day specifically lining up with the edge to edge move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed.
I don't know, that just made sense. It was confirmation bias or whatever you want to think of it as. And we don't have to stay at that level either. That could just be a wick to 39.
Right.
The entry you want to be a candle close inside of the cloud, but the exit, you just set your targets and that's it, right? Like if it's a wick, great. If it's a candle close, great. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You're out, right?
Right. So you're just saying like you would enter your trade on the first candle close within the cloud, right. And then you would fire and forget your take profit and you'd walk away and go on vacation or whatever.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yep. That's it. And your stop loss would be the key June at that point.
Now,
and this may just sorry to interrupt you again, but this just may chop around, right? And that's fine. But there's no trade for me here. There's nothing I want to look at. There was a 4-hour inverted head and shoulders that looked pretty good. That broke up but didn't quite go anywhere.
I saw you mention that in your video, and I'm glad you did because I was actually eyeballing that as I was trading some alts. And right around here, when they started breaking down, like I actually had an XRP long, and I kept getting wicked out because I had pretty tight stops, expecting it to just explode. And every time it was getting like it was kind of during this period. And I figured Bitcoin would send it, it would hit its target, it would pull alts up with it. And so that was just like a little personal, I was bored kind of trade. And next thing I know, I'm just getting stopped out over and over and over. And I was like, what is happening? But anyway, all that being said, this price action was very interesting to me with how it worked so hard to reverse course, to turn the Titanic around. And then it was just kind of like just a flop.
Yeah, and then today with Yellen saying a bunch of bullshit about raising rates, and then more bullshit about not raising rates, and then even more bullshit about we need some cryptocurrency regulation. So this market is just so on edge right now.
Right.
Relative to legacy. Like Dixie DXY just spiked hard today and then pulled back.
Did it? I haven't looked at it today.
So that I wish wasn't the case.
Wow.
I wish we were less of that, but
so this is the 4-hour. Even if I go to the daily, it'll look the same. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so it's just all over the place. It's on a identity finding mission, I guess. But
okay, so I want to pause really quick, and then we can keep moving. There's a couple other things I want to show aside from Dixie that I think are super important. Wowie, all you guys, thank you for the recent subs, guys. I appreciate you all. You know that. One thing I do want to point out that
that's so sincere. Chat, he appreciates you. You motherfuckers, he appreciates you.
Where's my money? Chat, where's my money? Come on, you know it. No, they know it. These guys are here grinding day in and day out. Like I stream 3 times a week, every week, and it gets to where I know all these faces. Like I know faces, quote unquote, but like I know everybody who's here. So it's really cool to see. Mess is always like just showering me. I have to send him nudes after the stream, but hey, that's what I signed up for, and I'm not complaining. But what somebody farted in chat. Thank you for your money. What I wanted to point out was, so the Wyckoff discussion, which I think I literally saw people eye roll, like they rolled their eyes and they left the stream. I literally saw it, like I saw into their bedrooms and they did that. This Wyckoff.
Why though? Why do people not like Wyckoff?
Because it's not up only, because you're talking against what they want to hear, and they get very upset about that stuff. But here I am pointing out something that Bitcoin Schmitcoin just said in the chat. He literally just wrote this, and I don't think I've even come out and said this, so I think it needs to be said. Even if we see this Wyckoff top, that doesn't necessarily mean an 18-month bear market. It doesn't. So within the world of Wyckoff, a distribution event, more farts in the chat, thank you guys, super mature, is just a way of saying, okay, this was the top for some period of time until another strong hand, another composite operator scoops up the, whatever the downtrend is. So maybe that's at 39, maybe it's at 35, maybe it's at 45. We got to see it as it plays out. There'll be particular price action to kind of demonstrate what's happening next. Should that continue? Should the edge to edge occur? Should the distribution play out? On and on. But just saying, this doesn't mean like who was it? When is Salsa who tweeted out, "See you guys in 2024," something like that? I'm out. Okay.
And that's fine. And those types of people are the people who fuel us to go higher if we do go higher, right? If they're correct, they're hailed as heroes. If they're incorrect, they're buying back higher. Which it's fine. Like, I don't care, right? Good for you. Like, change your life. Pentoshi was talking about withdrawing, $1 million today, USD or something. And I'd love to see stuff like that. So yeah, I wouldn't ever look at someone else's trading plan and think like I need to follow them to the T, right?
Oh, never, not even me, not Josh, not anybody. And that's a lot of like chat knows this too, but Josh, I'm real big in emphasizing like this is not a signals group. I'm never going to say, hey, buy here, sell there, whatever, but I will try to put enough quality information in front of people that they can make a good decision. And sometimes it feels like I'm like, okay, what do we do next? And I'm like talking to my kids or something like, what's the next trade if this is the information? But, I'm not going to say, okay, short here, long here, that kind of stuff. But anyway, all that being said, do your own.
There's so many ways to make money in crypto, right? Like if you hate Bitcoin, don't trade it.
Right.
If you hate ETH, don't trade it. If you love alts, don't trade Bitcoin, right? Like there are times to trade alts and there are times not to trade alts. And obviously now it's been more of an alt party than even 2017.
Right.
We're seeing just crazy stuff all over the place. Go to the 1 hour ETH since you have it up.
1 hour ETH. I was going to ask you if there's anything interesting on ETH as far as price action goes.
Yeah, the weird thing about ETH is it had its ascending triangle like BTC, except it didn't fail. It broke up, and then when it pulled back, it hit that horizontal again on the daily ascending triangle. But on the hourly, there's this diamond top that somebody was talking about.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Looks very real, and/or head and shoulders. So if you're bullish, you definitely don't want to see this breakdown, obviously. And thank you, Pantelja.
One of my mods.
If you're bearish, you're ready with the red button. You're ready to click it. Is the moment. You could even be adding to a short as we speak with the expectation that this is a diamond top, and
Actually, one of the go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, and then you could fib it out. You could say, what's the 1618? What's the measured move of this to the downside? Maybe it's like 2800. Maybe it matches some VPVR levels, whatever. But it looks not as bullish as it has been, certainly.
Right. Somebody said in chat that I've been bipolar like the last 4 streams, and I think that's fair. Like I was when Bitcoin dropped, I was very, very cautious right in here. Like I closed so many longs right on that like rally, and I was very encouraging of people to do that. And then once our 4 hour 20 EMA, this has been my favorite trend to watch as far as just like measured trends go, like moving averages go, but because it's been so clean and consistent. And then there are periods of consolidation, sure, but then once it actually breaks out, the trend is so strong through it. So once we've been up in this possible top, and every move to the downside, the retest of that was like a complete sell-off. And then once we broke that, I was bullish again, at least short time frame. So I re-entered all kinds of alts. Everything was good. I was getting euphoric. And then here we are again, just trending back down. And like you were saying, making like the way you come at it with Ichimoku shouting a bunch of bearish things, the way that this is, I expected this to break and continue. It did not. In fact, it failed to close anywhere close to 60K or above. And now the bears have shown up. If I put the volume on, the derivative stuff down, I mean, people were just, they couldn't be happier to get out of their longs. And that's not what you want to see. If this was truly bullish, you would want to see a spike in bull volume. You wouldn't want to see the buyers step in, especially after these downtrends break. And the bulls are just, they would send it. And everybody who got left behind, hey, you know, F you, bud. Sorry, have fun staying poor. That's not what we're seeing. And that is why, like, today, I am way more bearish than I was the last stream. But on Ethereum, Josh, is there anything like cloud metrics wise, that's worth looking at, like on the dailies or weeklies? Have you noticed anything?
So on the daily, it isn't even close to its bearish TK cross.
I see that.
It looks fine. It looks like, if anything, it's setting up for there's this other like Kijun bounce type trade to to 25 exactly, which would make sense based on that horizontal. It's the previous all-time high, previous wick test, previous W breakout, whatever you want to think of that as. The cloud was always painting this support level on a good place to get back in on the Kijun. And you can see, you can scroll back just even on this since October 2020, you can see we had several touches of this to tell you, okay, relong. And right now, as we sit here, everybody should have bids, not investment advice, but everybody should have bids at that level. And it may move up, it may move down, but the point is,
chat, you can't sue him now. You can't sue him now. He said the magic words. That doesn't, no takebacks.
The way the system works is you always have bids at that level. So if I want to get back in a big way, I want to bid 2,500 on ETH right now.
Right in here. Okay.
That's really the only thing I'm seeing for ETH at the moment on the daily. Now the hourly, the 1 hour, like we said, looks like garbage, right?
Right.
It clearly doesn't look as bullish as it has been.
So I've heard of traders that will see this and they will wait for it to, like, they'll try to trade this, whatever, but like for the big, for the directional trade, for the multi-week trade, what they'll do is they'll just set up a, what do you call it, where you have something on either side of it? There's like a term.
Oh, a straddle?
A straddle, yeah. And then they'll just play the straddle based on whichever way it breaks. And it's like one or the other, like it'll close out that if this triggers, or vice versa.
As long as you are comfortable with the stop loss systems on whichever exchange you trade on, or are prepared to do it manually, you know, you could even do that on BTC right now, right? You could just be long and short at the same time, and you could say, all right, I think this is, you could say, I expect volatility, I don't know the direction. So you're either long volatility on some options thing, or you are opening a long and a short, and you are saying this is going to break wildly in some direction, and I'm ready for it. So yeah, the straddle is certainly viable. It just looks like up on ETH would be, I don't know. I mean, Doge went to infinity, so why not? But
Doge, I don't even like looking at Doge. If I'm being honest, it just makes me sick.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really look at it either. But the monthly Doge RSI is 99. So
at what point do we short? Do we literally short $1, or is it going to go to like $2?
You can't short Doge.
I know. Don't
Everybody
short it,
who's
guys.
short has been wrecked, and funding's been negative. Like
funding is negative. Yes, that is a huge point. Yeah,
I don't know if it's still negative, but
it was last I looked. Yeah, earlier today. I was like, oh my god.
So it's like, what do you even do with that? You're just gonna get bulldozed, right?
Right.
You just can't do anything. You either FOMO it in at some reasonable. Even there's the good Kijun bounce, right?
Right.
On Doge. Anyway, so
yeah. Sorry, hold on. I lost it. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
I'm just saying Kijun levels are good for re-entries on longs, and if you were long on that re-entry, you'd be making money right now.
Chat, no levels are good entries for longs. This thing is ridiculous. This is in orbit. This is like what is it? I haven't measured it, I don't think, on the Bitcoin pair from the lows to present. Just a 72x in 6 months versus Bitcoin.
Just just like Ripple, right? Ripple went to $1 plus. People don't even care what it is. It's just integer bias and psychological support resist levels, round even numbers type thing. 50 cents was big. Dollar is going to be big. You know
what I half suspecting is Coinbase suddenly announces a Doge pair and XRP back, and both of them just like send it like straight to Saturn. The thing just goes nuts, and then that's top, like unsustainable.
I mean, I would never do this, but Ripple is something you could do if you think that the SEC lawsuit is just going to be a settlement or something. You could say there's more upside than downside if I long Ripple. You could certainly do that.
I will build a Ripple bag 100%, but I'm trading a few other things that are actually in play right now. But yeah, I will absolutely build a Ripple bag just for that. Just like for that little BS, whatever.
There are many ways to make money in this market, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to love it. You don't have to marry it. You don't have to be a community member.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, chat. We're going to go over a couple other alts because like Josh specifically pointed out in his video. Let me link it again. Actually, mods, will you link that video again for me? But we'll go over his video or a part of what he brought up in his video in a second. But I want to have a quick conversation about why we're seeing what we're seeing right now. So as we had mentioned, there's a chance that Bitcoin is forming a distribution top. Okay. And that is scary to many. And a lot of people don't like that. And who knows what's coming next? Doesn't matter. Like we'll get to that when we get to it. But all this means is that capital is rotating out of Bitcoin, and big money is doing it in a way where they're not just slamming the market sell button and they're going to nuke the price down 50% or whatever. They're very careful. They're very cautious. Oh, camera, hold on. Okay. Pro streamer, hi. I am literally a partnered streamer. There we go. Okay, so they're very careful. They're very cautious about what they're doing. They are rotating out of Bitcoin. So you gotta follow this train of thought with me. If they're leaving Bitcoin, where are they going? Well, the charts will tell you. There are various alts that are suddenly and aggressively decoupling with Bitcoin. They are absolutely face melting. Doge is the big one that's in the news and blah, blah, blah. But it's not alone. There's many, many coins out there that are doing the same thing. So if you can swallow a distribution top, which is like, that's no easy feat. A lot of people will see this and they're like, mentally, they just can't do it. They're like, no, I'm out. This is bullshit. I'm done. I don't even want to hear it. But if you can grasp that and understand that there's a lot of money that will be flowing like a waterfall into another bucket. And if you can have bags built of those buckets, like say Ripple, Doge, whatever, and snowball one run to the next, that is how you make life-changing money. That is one way. There are many ways, just like Josh said, but me personally, that's one of my favorite ways to make money, is to ride Bitcoin to some kind of distribution top and then have some bags ready. And hopefully I'm doing the same thing where, hey, I think I see distribution. I'm going to rotate into alts. And then, hey, my alt is pumping. That's great. Now I'm taking profit. What's another alt that hasn't pumped but likely will? On and on and on. So with that in mind, one of the other coins that Josh pointed out, you want to start with Litecoin, I guess?
Yeah, we can talk about whichever. Just run down the list.
That's fine. So Litecoin, Bitcoin. I think this is the cleanest trade so far with your edge to edge. All right.
Yeah, it's definitely setting up for a massive move that looks ridiculous, right? But that's how these BTC pairs move. They just happen all at once, for that rotation reason.
Right. So capital's moving, looking for something else to do.
It doesn't mean BTC and LTC are both going up. It doesn't mean they're going in opposite directions. It could mean that LTC is just going down less than BTC.
Yeah, right.
Like that doesn't matter as long as you're, if you're trading this chart or this pair, right? Then it doesn't matter. But that's something important to keep in mind as well.
So a couple things that we've been watching. We've actually been we discuss Litecoin and a couple other coins, but almost every stream. And for a couple big reasons. One, Litecoin likes to do this thing where it fakes like it's dying and then suddenly moons and fake, it's goes to all-time lows and then just sends it over and over and over. And we've been waiting for that to happen. So we've been talking about it all through this. And, it got really close to its prior all-time low. I personally would have preferred an actual dip into an all-time low, but, whatever. And then also it actually had a really clean channel that it was trading within for over a year. And finally it's breaking out of that on the Bitcoin pair. And then I saw your video. I hadn't even looked, like we discussed before the stream. I don't look at Ichimoku a lot. So don't hate me. But the fact that what I was seeing, just like we talked about with the distribution top and that kind of stuff, the fact that I'm coming at this from a completely different angle from you and a billion other people, and we're kind of coming to the same conclusion, that really adds confidence to my trade. And so I've added a lot to me personally. I'm choosing to rotate other alts that have pumped into Litecoin, and then this is my current kind of target for the next few weeks, because if it behaves anything like it did in the prior cycle, this is literally the cycle top of 2017. Once it got in the cloud, it was just there it was edge to edge in 2 to 3 weeks. So if we see something similar, that would be a top of about 0.011 on the Bitcoin pair. And if I take the cloud away, that's actually a really clean target we've been watching just for where the market's been rotating. Like, okay, well, let's just go here. Yeah, okay, we're ballpark in that area. Let's do it. Draw my line very. But again, the correlation between all these things is very interesting.
Yeah, you can turn on VPVR if you have that available.
Mm-hmm.
And that there's probably a volume level there. If you turn on the 200-week moving average, there's probably a volume there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, so it's higher still, but
right.
But the point is, yeah, there's levels up there that it's gonna hit. The other thing I'll say about this is you can't get to that level and then expect it to go higher. Look at the last couple times in
Exactly.
2017. Like, you can't say, man, I hope it goes higher. I'm holding because it's gonna go higher. Maybe it will, but it probably won't. Right? So just keep that in mind too. Not investment advice, but something. If you're trading cloud, if you're trading edge-to-edge trades legitimately, you have your closes set before it gets close to that level, because you just know, you suspect where it's going to go.
Right. So I'm looking around my office because I have a collectible. I keep physical collectibles.
Like physical NFTs, you mean?
Oh my god. Physical NFTs. Okay, I died a little bit, but I'm gonna rally. So this is an example of something that I bought. Let me change the screen really quick. This is a Coinographic limited edition. Come on, autofocus. Yeah.
Like
No, listen to this. I'm gonna bring this home real quick. 25 Litecoin loaded on it. How cool is that? I bought this directly from Charlie Lee after he got scammed, because the guy who made this coin took all the Litecoin off of every coins that he sold. Everyone who bought one of these coins, there was like 500 of them made. He stole them all. 25 Litecoins times 500, whatever that is. So he absolutely screwed them. So why am I bringing?
He rugged the NFT.
He got rugged. So why am I bringing that up? I'm bringing that up because when I bought this and a couple other things from Charlie Lee, founder of Litecoin, I said, "Hey Charlie, so how much in Litecoin for this? All these things we're buying." And he goes, "Oh no, Bitcoin." I said, "Wait, what? Like you literally made Litecoin? When are you talking?" He goes, "No, Bitcoin. That's all I want. That's all I care about. Bitcoin only." I was like, "Damn, okay." So when somebody tries to talk me out of, no, hold that. You got to have confidence in your trade. This thing's going to keep going. Litecoin to the moon. We're going to go, to outer space, and it's going to be worth more than Bitcoin. Dude, the founder of the coin is not even holding it. Like, that's not what he's stacking. He's stacking Bitcoin. So you got to get that. You got to just process that. Dollars in Bitcoin long term. This is where you need to be. All right, that's all. I'm off my.
So that looks good. That's all I got to say about that, as Forrest Gump would say.
Okay.
It looks fine. That's an unemotional, excellent long trade. It's got a bullish TK cross in the making. Looks fine to me. LTC ETH looks like crap, but
Absolutely, it does. I thought it looked better.
But that's the other part of about this is when you want to take your rotation trades. Is where you want to start rotating into stuff?
I'll tell you why.
It doesn't have to look amazing.
Well, I had it on the weekly. The weekly looks like trash because Ethereum has just face melted everything. But if you go in the lower time frames, like the 4 hour, it's actually doing a really good job of reversing or finding some sort of bottom. And if you can make some sort of,
that reminds me of the Bed Bath & Beyond chart. Pull up the weekly Bed Bath & Beyond chart. This.
Wait, what the hell are you talking about?
BBBY, because there's some pattern. It's like a expanding falling wedge or something. I don't know. Megaphone.
Why?
You'll know
on what, NASDAQ?
Yeah, that's fine.
On what, the weekly?
I think it's the weekly. Yeah, maybe it's the daily, but
oh yes. Oh, this is like GME. GME did something like this before.
Yeah, see that fractal though? Same thing. Same exact thing. Anyway,
that's really interesting.
I actually traded BBBY and I made a ton of money off that because I was long way before the breakdown. But anyway, that I don't know what that is. A falling expanding wedge. I forget the name, but it's definitely a pattern that comes up rather infrequently. But when you see it, it's like, okay, yeah, that's obviously what it is. Yeah, descending. That's what it is. Descending broadening wedge.
Yeah, this is really interesting too, because there's all kinds of like, okay, here's where you enter, here's your take profit, all that kind of stuff. By the way, chat, what I just did is a example of how you can do this yourself. I'm teaching you how to fish. Just type in the pattern site and then the name of the pattern if you happen to know it. I mean, part of the game is learning these patterns, but you literally could have made this trade, using just a quick little search of the pattern site. And if you'd identified the breakout, or at least, even this consolidation, would have had some level of confidence in a trade. Pretty cool. I love the pattern side. I love just going over.
Yeah, so do I. So anyway, yeah, LTC BTC looks like that, or LTC ETH, whatever.
LTC ETH, yeah, on the lower time frame.
Right.
What's another good one you like to look at?
Link BTC.
BTC on what, weekly or daily or?
Weekly's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Ooh, girl.
So the big thing for that one wasn't even the cloud. It was just the chart pattern again. Adam and Eve, super clean, kind of textbook. But yeah, that's a good level to watch for. Yeah, exactly. Just like right there it is. And you had one of those in 2020, early 2020. Before that run up, there was an Adam and Eve as well. So, I mean, it looks fine to me, That's why when it looks like hot garbage, that's the time when you need to rotate into this stuff. If you have conviction that it is actually going to do something, right?
Right. We had a couple. So when I got really excited about Link, was right in here, because if I was on the lower time frames, it was super clear, like on the 4 hour, that there was this channel that price loved to kind of meme around a little bit above, whatever, meme around, drop below, back in the channel. But then within this channel, it had broke up in a really interesting way. It was like price was suppressed almost all through here. There was a lot of downward pressure. Every little rally was just stifled out. And finally it broke up. And then once it broke up, it consolidated above the channel in a really interesting way. So this was a long entry, and this was an add to, which I closed a little early. I bet there's a little more in the tank there, but I did rotate that into Litecoin, so I'm happy with it so far. But what I was going to add to what you were saying on like the dailies, as far as the cloud goes, is there is a going back to March 2019, price bounced along this particular trend line really cleanly before it broke down. Hold on, that. Before it broke down, and ever since it's done this little Adam and Eve like you were talking about, and the measured move is actually back to the bottom side. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens when it gets there, but it's back to that diagonal, and that matches up with your cloud. and also the diagonal, the Adam and Eve target, and then the cloud. And I just think that's really interesting how that all lines up. The edge to edge play there.
Stuff like that you'll see a lot just because it's all using the same data, so it's not like crazy to think that's all going to line up. But when it does, it's like you found like the secret, right?
Yeah, right. The holy grail.
Yes, this is going to happen. I'll post this in your Discord.
Okay.
But there's this link BTC Pitchfork. I don't remember if you're a Pitchfork person or not, but
I respect it. I don't use it myself, but I make channels, which is just kind of the same thing.
Because that line you drew, that diag you drew, reminded me of that Pitchfork. So, but anyway, the target on the median line of that Pitchfork, which is where price wants to be during the entirety of the trend, is around 122,000 sats, something like that. So
22, way up here.
Yeah. Then it would be back on track for the previous rate of change, is basically.
So how much is the Link team paying you to
they're paying me nothing. I can't stand Link. If you want to be if you want full disclosure, Brave New Coin actually was their like ICO person, or like did their ICO.
Are you serious?
Yeah. If you look at like the history behind it. So they did very well, Link did very well. I don't understand most altcoins, including Link, like why they exist, but
I don't either.
That's another stream, another day. But yeah, it's just a trade for me, So I like up. I've liked it since the USD was on like I said, 17 or less, I think.
Okay. I have a buddy of mine who doesn't know a lot about crypto, and he literally tweeted out, I see Link's at 48. It's going to be worth more than Bitcoin. Stay strong.
I saw somebody say Doge is going to be worth as much as ETH. I almost ruined my keyboard spitting out my liquid in my mouth.
Right.
But,
well, I replied back to the guy I know. He's not like a friend, but I probably messaged him. I sent him this chart, and I was like, that's from low to highs. Currently, like just now, Link is up 400x versus the dollar. So, I mean, I'm not calling top because I'd probably be wrong, but at some point, like you gotta realize you're kind of, things are getting silly. We're talking about a 400x move in a few years, but what do I know? I don't know anything.
It's just been so my entry was 10. That was when I got in, around 10, because it was the 200-day moving average retest. But if you look at the Link USD chart with the 200-day with a Pitchfork,
Link USD on 200 days, is that what you said?
Yeah, 200-day. Again, I'll just post this in your crypto discussion Discord chat, but it's just been a buy and hold like this. If you're a trend trader and you don't care what you're trading and this stuff isn't going to disappear tomorrow, then what do you care, right? If it's Link, great. If it's, I won't trade certain things like Bitcoin Cash, but
wait, why not?
I don't have it in me. Everybody's got a line, and that is my line.
Scams pump the hardest,
or BSV. Yeah, I know, but yeah, like it dances around the 200-day, bounces super hard, and yeah,
that's clean. I like that actually.
It just looks good. So yeah, I like Link here. I like 60 plus on Link.
60 plus. Whoa.
Right, and I don't care what that fully diluted value is. I don't care what notional value the team selling represents at that point.
I used to care, and then I saw Doge, and I just don't care anymore. Like,
right,
it doesn't matter.
Right, we're beyond any of that mattering at this point in time. People were asking about EOS earlier.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, have you looked at that lately? I haven't.
I looked at it the moment somebody asked about it, but EOS is a good one that sort of hasn't moved, that you could just, if you're playing the rotation game, and say, all right, I'm going to start buying some EOS if you're able to. I guess, is it on Coinbase?
Yeah, it is. Because I had some money on Coinbase and I saw EOS early. I happened to log in right when there was a dump, and I was like, hey, okay, EOS was the biggest percentage loser of the day. I'll buy some. And so just I remembered.
Yeah. So, this is something that hasn't moved yet. Someone asked me about Stellar today too. Stellar BTC, a coin that hasn't moved yet. Relative to BTC. Why not? Right? Like,
Yeah.
Ripple, same thing. It's moved a little bit, but not as much as Stellar has. I don't think.
Right. I'll tell you what got me interested in EOS, and it's the only reason I even have it over here. It was because it reminded me of Litecoin. Like a couple cycles worth of data for Litecoin is literally just like a multi-month, multi-year consolidation breakout. It's just, for me, it's very like, I'm very basic bitch trader. Hey, here's a diagonal and it's breaking up. Awesome.
Yeah, that's fine. You have the back-tested knowledge of LTC to say, okay, let me just apply this, and you have your trading system and you're using it, right? Like, you don't care,
right,
what EOS is. You might love it or hate it. I don't know, but
I have no idea. No, in fact, whenever we go through coins, people always ask me what stuff does, and I have no idea. Like, literally, no idea. I don't get into any fundamentals. I don't care. I have price action, support, resistance, patterns. We're good. That's all I need.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I think there will be rotation away from ETH into other stuff for sure.
Yes.
I think some of that'll be DeFi. I don't know if any of that's going to be Solana or FTX or Serum or any of that other junk.
But it's on Twitter all so much.
Yeah. DOT is another one that had this massive push up and it's just kind of like languishing, doing a bunch of nothing. What's percentage is that? From $1 to 50, so that's what, a 50x?
Yeah, about like 45.
Like, do you really expect me, with a straight face, anybody, to buy Solana when it's up 50x since January? Come on.
I didn't get a t-shirt.
Get out of here.
Brian got a t-shirt. They didn't send me a t-shirt, so I am not pimping their stuff.
Well, at least he's on the right side of that trade, saying he likes the short side.
Got a nice shirt.
This looks like it's setting up for Head and Shoulders to me, honestly. It looks rough. Dot looks dead.
Yeah. Anytime I see this, especially a break to new highs, a return to the trade range, and then a retest that's like a failure, and then arguably you could kind of like play with this failure to break out. Yeah, I'm with you. That looks ugly. Head and Shoulders, distribution top, whatever you want to call it. That's ugly. I'm sure that
it looks like it had its move in January and people have moved on, right?
Is this a Sam coin?
No, it's a Jeremy something, right? I forget his name.
I don't know. Desi in chat's letting us know that Cummies is over 20 cents, just so you know.
We're very much in the left side of the intelligence curve, intelligence quotient curve.
Yeah.
Market.
Right now. But you got to think like that, right? That's why we're talking about buying XRP and this and that.
That's fine. That's fine.
Gotta do that.
OMG and Neo and Monero and the LTC, all these charts look very much the same to me. So I can see any of those moving pretty rapidly against BTC. In the near term, if LTC looks good, why wouldn't all those other ones look good?
Oof, check this out. DOT on the dollar pair. Look at this retest.
Same setup, same exact setup as BTC USD. Yep. So that could reflip bullish, but how it sits now, I would not be holding on to that at all.
Be looking for a short, to be honest. Hey, so here's a question for you, because you are the cloud, the prince of the clouds here. Whenever you see moving averages literally sandwiched together, what do you take from that? Nothing?
I just interpret it as a cross, because if it was bullish before, it's definitely not bullish now, right? It's technically it's flat, but for me, it's good enough as a cross.
I didn't know if you could argue like, well, the bulls are keeping it from crossing, and like therefore, because the trend was bullish, this is still. So I didn't know like where the line was on all that.
Nah.
Okay.
I don't really think of it that way.
I wanted to also Neo's like a quiet one. I have my own reasons for Neo. I won't bore you, but I wanted to pull up Neo Bitcoin.
Neo ETH looks like a nightmare.
Yeah, I try not to click on that chart.
But that's the type of top that you're looking for on Doge, right? Something that goes way up and all the way back down.
Right. Literally this.
Neo BTC. Yeah, so it looked good in April, right? April, the cloud told you, or sorry, March, end of March, the cloud told you, gave you permission to be long there for sure.
Turn off price. Yeah, so here's your long signal. So are there C clamps within, did I say that right? I'm out of my element a little bit, but like where price returns back in here and then either tests it and pulls the trend up, or it's like a reversal point, or how does that work in the cloud system?
Yeah, so you get a C clamp when you get a high that doesn't go any higher, so you don't get a higher high, but the shorter moving average will continue to move up, and you get that picture where you get that C clamp, and that suggests a reversal before continuation. But in that case, you already got your reversal really before the C clamp even formed. So
yeah,
for me, it's just like, for me, that trade is over.
Okay.
If I was long since the end of March, I'd just be happy with what I had at that point for me.
Interesting.
So either you're happy with what you get, or you're happy that it bounced on the Kijun and you're holding. But I just don't like that it's up the percentage that it's up. What is that, 3x since a couple days ago?
Oh yeah. Like a 20% move in 3 days.
Oh, I meant like end of March.
Oh.
That
from the cross.
Yeah.
So it hit a peak of like a 210% move, 2x, and right now it's sitting at about like $1.50.
Yeah, so either you just hold that and say, all right, you're waiting for the bearish TK cross to get you out, or you say it looks weird. Looks like it's, if anything, setting up for like an inverted Adam and Eve. Doge was setting up for a couple times as well.
I actually like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Nice call.
Exactly.
Good comps. I like that. Okay.
So
what else do you want to look at?
Pull up XMR BTC. I haven't even looked at that yet.
Kind of eyeballing that too.
It's another one I just hold. Don't really pay attention to.
Clean edge to edge. You mean you dropped it off the boat that one time, right?
Right.
So you're forced to hold.
Right. Yeah, it looks good. Can you go to the weekly? Just zoom way out.
Yeah. Peak. I have to turn price on. I can.
But yeah, there's another edge to edge example.
Ooh, look at this failed edge to edge. Actually, this one memed me out pretty good. So in the world of Wyckoff, we were watching this, and we ended up seeing like a redistribution event and having a nice discussion on like what redistribution is. So the moment this, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say edge to edge trades have a high hit rate, but they're not 100% all the time, right?
Right. Yeah, that was tough. I can completely understand why people got bit by that. So on the
that mean reversion back to the Kijun from where it sold off from, all the way back to that previous consolidation.
This guy right here.
It is swift. Yeah, the W was swift. I don't know where it goes from here. Doesn't look like it wants more necessarily, but
I'm with you.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think there's a trade there for me other than just holding the USD pair. But
either the dollar pair is okay, but
it doesn't look as pressing as the LTC BTC cloud pair trade looks, right? Like that looks like a trade that looks ready to pop. Monero BTC does not look like that. But the USD chart looks pretty similar, right?
Okay, so here's a question for you. If capital is rotating from BTC to other things, at this point, do you even stop looking at the BTC pair? I mean, you still want to see a bullish setup, but I guess what I mean is, would you give more credence to the dollar pair setups than the Bitcoin pair setups, right?
For alts?
Yeah, for alts.
I mean, most of the alt charts kind of look like this, like ETC. Everything's either at all-time highs or pushing all-time highs.
Oh my God, ETC. I'd forgotten.
It looks weird to want to be looking at those charts, I guess, because I'm always worried that I'm going to be the top buyer. I'm going to be the wick at the top, right?
Yeah.
I could get more comfortable with the BTC pairs if they look worse. I don't know. It's weird. I don't want to buy the top. I'd rather buy the bottom. I don't know. I guess that's how I think about it. But
oh my.
Clearly, white coffee and accumulation at the bottom there.
Yes, this lasted 2 months.
And then there's your W, Kumo breakout, blah blah blah, all the stuff we've been talking about with everything else. Yeah. So this versus Neo BTC, right? So with Neo, you're hoping that this makes a higher high, obviously, and does an ETC if you're still in. But yeah, this doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere further to me. This looks insane.
You know what? This is, and I'll just admit to you and chat and everybody, I just don't have the balls to enter along on something like this. I don't.
No.
I can't do it. But the Doge crowd, they'll do it and, you know, go cliff jumping and skydiving and the whole deal and just like margin 10x long Doge and come back a millionaire. Kudos. I can't do it.
Yeah, that doesn't look like... That looks like alt season things to me. It doesn't look like it's got any staying power.
Right.
And it looks like I missed that trade, right? So I'm looking for trades that look like this before they broke out, like EOS, right?
Right.
Which is why I just keep talking about EOS, because it's one that hasn't done anything really. But you could pull up any alt that looks halfway decent and say the same thing.
No, I think you're right.
Band BTC was another one I've been watching pretty closely.
Okay.
Because on the higher time frames, it's got that, on the 2-day cloud specifically, it's got that very large edge potential.
2-day
cloud.
Yeah. Interesting.
Not that I'm like looking for things. I was just looking at the 2-day because it had this inverted head and shoulders stuff to it. So, and that's a pretty decently sized. That's what, like a 2x. You know, that's a decent move against BTC.
This is always urging as well. And then this like meme inverted head and shoulders or whatever you want to call it. I don't know if the wicks count.
Inverted head and shoulders, asymmetric triangle, you know, pick your poison. It all looks viable. It's all trying to tell you this is ready for up now.
So do you just rotate through different levels, like 3-day, 1-day, whatever, and see if there's an edge-to-edge play? Or like at what level does that work or not work?
Well, so I didn't even see that. Somebody had showed it to me or tweeted it at me on Twitter. Just because I was pointing out that inverted head and shoulders. Like I'll see the chart patterns first. I don't always have the cloud on everything, but to me that inverted head and shoulders had looked pretty good. And then someone was like, "Oh, by the way, on the 2-day cloud, like, yeah, who's looking at the 2-day cloud on Band?" But in Band, is that Band USD?
This is USD.
That looks like cup and handle, like high time frame.
Oh yeah, good call.
Continuation looks ready for more for sure.
Daily
looks good to me. I mean, that's a breakout I'd want to take versus ETH right now versus Doge right now versus ETC right now. This is the kind of trade I'd rather take, right?
Yeah, I like that
because it looks like momentum's gonna hit. It's certainly bullish, you know.
Okay, chat. Josh has got to go in a minute. Josh, do you want to do like a handful of crowd request stuff, and we'll just burn through them really quick, just to make them happy? You just want to be like F chat? I don't care.
Yeah, we can talk about whatever.
Chat, just throw a couple out. If it's got to be something like a lot of people are interested in. We can't just do Nano. Nano's an interesting one. I actually thought I had it right there. By the way, Josh, have you looked at lumber?
I've seen what's been happening with the price. It's absolutely
insane.
Look at any collectibles right now. Pokemon. I know this is like might be cringe, but
no, you're right.
Pokemon, MTG, some random collectible things, NFTs. Obviously, like everything is mooning right now. So you know, you might think as an ETH community member that ETH is the next best thing since sliced bread, when in reality, it's just right place, right time. You know, everything is doing really well. So, in case you're married to any of your crypto bags, I'd keep that in mind. Not you, but chat.
Right. Well, you
hear me, chat. You hear me.
Uncle Josh, when he speaks, you listen. Josh,
I've seen things that make you grown men cry.
You're having like war flashbacks now, like the dog, that dog meme.
Exactly.
No, but I was gonna say, so I come from the CS:GO collectibles world, and I'm in, you know, like these collectibles, like we talked about, these guys. Everything is mooning.
Yeah.
So real estate is mooning, stocks are mooning. The Robinhood guys are mooning. the physical collectibles are mooning, like cards and like trading cards and stuff like that. That's actually a really big sign of a massive inflation. Just throwing it out there. That is not. These are like one isolated incident is kind of like, oh hey, that's crazy. You read about it in the news, but when it's rampant like this, it ain't so good. It ain't so good.
All asset classes. I think coffee's mooning too. Actually,
don't tell me that.
Chlorine. There's chlorine shortages.
Chlorine, yes.
It's all sorts of crazy stuff. Anyway, so yeah, Nano looks fine. It looks like I missed the trade though, right? Like, doesn't look like anything I want to jump in. The trade was January, like everything else, all in altcoin land. For me, it's easier to rotate out of this and into something like EOS, like that just like hasn't moved yet. But I'm not. This wasn't a trade I was ever in, so I can't really speak to that. It just doesn't. It just looks like nothing to me. It looks like mediocre.
The meme for me is I loaded up some old ledger I had, and I randomly had like several hundred nano from the dollar range. And back then it was not all that much, $500 or something. And now it's like it is what it is here. It's now, hey, we're up to $9. Pretty cool. So I keep an eye on it every now. Somebody else asked about BNB, and I do think that's worth looking at because of all that crazy action we've seen. I'm sure we won't see anything worthwhile at all, but probably best to at least look at.
Yeah, if you're unfamiliar with the diamond top, if you take off the cloud for a sec, take off. Yeah, there you go. And scroll back to like 2016 or 2018, whatever it was. Okay.
Oh, right in here. Oh, is that a clean diamond top? Nice. I never noticed that.
Yeah, so that's when you're looking for diamond tops, that's what you want to see. At least in my mind, that's like textbook. And you get that breakout on the diag below. Anyway, so if you're looking for an ETH short, that's what I'd be looking at. But yeah, what is the current? There's your diag too. Yeah, there you go. I haven't really looked at BNB BTC. Oh, rising wedge.
Yeah, but it could also be like a running wedge and it just takes off. In fact, if we look at when BNB really took off, it was actually late 2017, early 2018. So the way I view it is, and I could be completely wrong, but I think the exchange rotates their Bitcoin capital into BNB as like a bear market hold. And then they rotate back as there's a new bull market. And I could be completely off on that. But for that reason, I will never short BNB on the Bitcoin pair. Ever. Like at no point. Because the fact that this thing from the Bitcoin bull market top to like a full year later, a year and a half later, it went up 15x on the dollar. So Bitcoin dropped 80%, BNB went 14x, whatever. But anyway, just keep that in mind. When you have your ear to the ground, when you're eating with CZ, and he mentions how they rotate their full exchange capital, you can come back and tell me. Right.
Yeah, so I wouldn't want to be long up here.
Oh.
That's for sure. It's up what percentage since January? Since February. Since February, it's got to be up like an absurd amount.
Since that little wick, a 9x.
It's just not a trade I want to take. Sorry, there's other stuff. There's other stuff to take. No. Other trades to make there.
Yeah, I'm with you all day on that. And then the dollar's making something simple. And Schmitty pointed this out earlier too, that there's several coins that have mooned hard, like this, but their consolidations are getting less and less, and their levels, like their next leg ups, are getting smaller and smaller. So that will have a reckoning.
Yeah, just that isn't anything I want to touch. Again, that's a trade I missed. FTT, if you're not in it already, to me, that's a trade you missed.
Yep.
Another exchange coin. ZRX to me looks like it could go places up. I don't know if a lot of people are talking about ZRX billing. That looks fine.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Chart. That looks like a mess, but it hasn't done anything yet. So it checks that box at least.
Yeah, It hasn't done anything yet, and therefore it looks good. That's actually true. What does cloud look like? I haven't had the kind of gobbledygook on the daily.
Yeah, it probably looks like a bunch of nothing.
Day it's nothing. Day still nothing. I don't see anything great. I'll tell you what I like about it.
It doesn't. None of it looks good, but it hasn't moved yet, right? So the USD chart is at like highs ish, like band. It's getting there.
One of my favorite trades is buying a fresh all-time low after years of downtrend, and because I've seen so many times the market will actually reverse on the Bitcoin pair. So versus Bitcoin, you can get a really nice pump. Now maybe that was it. So we actually talked about this when we were talking about possible setups, because I was memeing that this was back when Doge first took off, and then we were talking about how Doge was usually like a bookend. It like kicked off alt season, and maybe we'll get a nice alt season after, and the rest is hindsight. Whatever happened, but in the moment we were looking at good trades, and this was one that kind of popped up for us, and it ended up being pretty good. But if I'm not gonna lie, I really thought we would get to some of these old highs, and maybe that's still in the tank, but not really sure yet.
Yeah, I think as stuff rotates out of ETH, potentially you'll see strength in some of this DeFi DEX related stuff.
It's fair, and this is consolidating here. So I'll just keep an eye on that. We'll see if we get a breakout, and that'll be a nice long signal. Maybe a clean breakout with a retest, and see. Somebody was asking about ADA, and I think that's a good idea too.
My mic is probably quiet because I'm mentally getting quieter.
You've been on a long time. I know you usually like the quick snippets, so I appreciate you being here so long. We're almost 2 hours, Josh. What's wrong with you?
Just this is what we love to do.
I do nerd out over this stuff. My wife is like, wow, how do you enjoy doing that? I was like, I don't know. I just do. Just like looking at this stuff.
ADA USDT. Yeah, it's kind of it's on the same path as Bitcoin, where it's got this close your long from October signal. Even though it's above both those levels, and this may crisscross on those TK lines again.
Right.
This is the beauty of using a system and like trying to understand it between all this stuff, all these time frames. The Bitcoin looks like this, ADA looks like this. What do I do? Just have your set of rules and follow the rules, right? It's literally that simple. So that's why setting up your system, whatever it is the most important thing. And then saying, okay, my system says get out of my longs. Great. Tomorrow or 2 days from now for ADA, it may say just get back in.
Right.
And then at that point, it may not go anywhere either, right? So it just kind of is what it is.
Big brain. Let's look at the
big brain. But yeah, no, that's setting up for another edge-to-edge type trade as well to 90. If that continuation fails, see, that to me looks like a massive.
You were talking about you were back on the dollar pair, right? The 90 range.
If that fails, it's headed to 90, 85, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Bitcoin pair, same thing. Wherever that ends up being.
I was gonna say it looks like a massive inverted head and shoulders. Go to like the weekly Cardano BTC chart. It's like a 3-year inverted head and shoulders or some shit. Just insane.
Oh my god! Whoa!
Yeah,
Jesus.
You can see it there. Yeah.
The Hosk. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's it.
Did it hit its target though?
You'd have to measure it. I don't actually know.
Quad 0 14. Let's say quad 0 14. Breakout. 0 18. Yeah, I mean it's hit its technical target already. It took that long to do, and it took like how many candle closes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 3-day, so 24 days. After 3 years of setup. Jeez.
So they're broadening wedge at the bottom of that too. So yeah, to me, ADA BTC looks done. It may go to infinity, but that's not something I'd ever trade at that point.
So at what point are you going to turn into an ETH maximalist like some of my friends?
At what point? What do you mean?
What point? Well, they're making all these changes, and they're this, and they're making that change and this change, and now they're destroying their supply.
I think it's hilarious to me that they're just like, you know what? We're gonna make up this narrative. We're gonna change the code. It's gonna work out. maybe
Trust
maybe it
us.
will, right? Like I have more ETH versus BTC as far as numbers are concerned. So let it go to infinity. I don't care. I don't believe it will. But you can't deny if you've used DeFi or used any of the lending and borrowing stuff, any of that stuff. You can't deny like how cool it is to like do, right? I don't know if you've dabbled in any of that stuff.
I was gonna say, but what if I've literally not used any DeFi or lending stuff?
That's fine.
Not any, not one.
That's fine. Now, do I think NFTs are worthless and should go to zero? I do.
Hot takes.
Not like utility NFTs, like skins on a game, like that has utility, but like CryptoPunks, what? Why? Who cares? I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Millions, Josh, millions.
I don't understand it. I'm too boomer to understand most of that NFT stuff.
Oh, by the way, there was a rumor. Chat, hot takes here. There's a rumor I heard that there's an exchange that's going to add NFT trading into their platform.
I mean, doesn't Binance have that already?
Oh, do they? Oh shit.
Unlike Kick.
This was something. There was something new. Like it would literally be on the UI front page. Everyone can see it and trade their whatever the hell.
I mean, it's gonna end in tears, just like all this stuff. Look at CryptoKitties. Look at people love to point to that, but it's true. Look at any alt season. It hasn't settled at anything but -95% down, right? Like, so
You're just being negative.
I wish all of them luck. I really do. Not for me. You can make a lot of money. I don't have it in me.
eBay, yeah, Galax added that eBay is adding NFTs. I don't know if you saw that tweet, but eBay corporate tweeted out that they're adding NFTs to their platform.
I mean, I don't knock places that do because they kind of have to just to like keep up with everybody.
Right. The trendy whatever. Yeah.
Right. So, whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
What else we got?
What else? I mean, Dragon Coin, obviously.
Dragon Coin.
The number one best coin in the world. I have this little.
They have a cool logo. Are they still like, are there devs on it?
I
still exist?
Who knows, dude? Who knows? Disney's behind it. Yeah, allegedly. Not financial advice.
Right. It looks okay. I don't know. Like,
no, it's just
when I see a chart like this, but when I see a chart like that, I don't get excited about like jumping in.
It's stupid. Don't even like open your brain up for it. I have a bag for the memes, but that's it. So somebody asked about VeChain. I don't think you're going to see anything worth.
Yeah, that looks like ADA to me. Like it was in its 3-year inverted head and shoulders. It broke up. The move's over. Move on.
Life goes on.
Adam and Eve on lower time frames there on the USD pair. Yeah, like I can't look at that and not see an inverted Adam and Eve and think, okay, I shouldn't be long here. I know better, right? What am I doing in this trade if I were to buy anything,
Yeah. So if I were like begging for some kind of long signal, I would at least give yourself the low time frame, find some kind of consolidation, whatever, anything. Don't just ape into it. Get some kind of breakout with a retest, and then play like Doge. Doge did the same thing, as stupid as it is. This is what I was tweeting out the other day, just like that. Literally all you had was a little trendy boy, trend line, and we got a little breakout with a retest, and off it goes. If that's how you want to play some of these, then great. But at least you didn't just ape in 50x from the lows. You at least gave yourself something. Okay, there's a breakout, let's ride it. That's my only 2 cents. Doge new all-time high, by the way, Josh, for your bags.
I agree with you though. Like I'd rather breakout trade something that has anything for my confirmation bias than just like buying some high, right?
Right. I can never do it. Just straight buy.
No.
You got any others? You want to look at Ripple?
Yeah, sure.
Let's hit Ripple, and then I'll leave you alone.
That looks like a mess.
I was like, oh, that's 4 hour though. Maybe
looks like EOS, honestly.
Ugly too. Maybe
nice
there's better.
M double top nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on like the daily, the 4 hour of the daily. Man, all that's ugly.
So that to me, like the chart's irrelevant. You're just buying that and hoping that the SEC doesn't crush them.
Please.
That's all there is. That's all that's left for Ripple, really.
What do you think about this? So last week closed inside this little weekly, this massive weekly edge to edge. Would you sleep on that? Would you be like, nah?
So the TK cross is still bearish.
Correct.
So I wouldn't, I'd say it's setting up for that edge to edge move, but I wouldn't open a trade based on the TK cross because it's telling me it's not okay to go long yet, basically.
Right. And let me get rid of price just to show what you're talking. This is not crossed.
Right. So
that kind of cross.
That is a lower probability of breaking up than waiting for the bullish TK cross.
Gotcha. Then on dollar.
So yeah, you could always long that with a low expectation, right? But it's just that's not for me.
If it can get below $1, I'll probably build a bag. Just because that was kind of on my checklist for this market, for this bull cycle, and I never did it. Like down here, down in the 20-cent range, I had every intention of doing. A lot of things are just making this consolidation pennant. Wondering how they're all gonna like play out.
Probably tears for everybody.
Probably tears.
Tears across the board. You know, back to Stellar had this great, even on the BTC pair, it had this like maybe even 2-year, I don't even remember, on like high time frames, it had this very similar consolidation that looked really good, actually broke up and then just failed miserably.
Oh yeah, all this? Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah. Oh no, all the way back, further.
Oh, that? Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff.
Look at that.
It's like, oh, there's something happening there, right? And then, nope. It just broke all the way down to 0. So, yeah.
Oh, that's tough. Like, that's so hard to trade in the moment.
Yeah, it is. And I actually think the weekly Stellar BTC cloud has a big edge-to-edge setup as well.
Ooh. I like it.
Yeah, so similar to Ripple, it's that same.
I like it. Let me ask you this, because people ask me this chart, and I have the same reaction every time I pull this chart up. Let me go to the daily. And what I always say is, like, if we went back in time, like, hold on, let me do this little replay tool. If this was the price action right now, you could reasonably trade this. All right, yeah, it's some sort of channel, whatever. It's trying to decide what it's going to do. Okay, I can, like, I would actually suck at trading this, but I could understand how people could do it. Like, I can wrap my head around it. I don't watch a low time frame enough to actually like be any good at it. But as time goes on, watch the change to the structure. So we're on the daily right now, and I'm using this replay tool on TradingView. But it's painting it like, look at this price action. What?
Yeah.
This is the most erratic thing I've ever seen across the board. This makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and when I don't understand a chart like that, I just stay out because I don't know what to do, right? What do you do? You can say I'm buying the highs or buying the lows and selling the highs, but what if you don't know what those even are? Right?
No. This is how you lose all your money. These are pumps like 200% to the upside and then a 70% to the downside, all within like a week. Like no, you're done. You play that the wrong way one time, it's GG. Now, the only thing I've heard that was half decent is some kind of diamond bottom that's not actually at the bottom.
That's a stretch, but
that is such a stretch, dude. I know. I'm not like gonna die on that hill. I'm just saying that.
No, yeah, I could see it if I squint.
if I turn my head. No, but I have no idea. I like the cloud setup you were talking about though. That's
Alex was saying that Ripple or Stellar was affected by the Ripple news by the SEC. And
that's true. That is absolutely true.
Very much a possibility.
Back to fussy girlfriend territory. Okay. It's good. I like that. That's on the pattern side as well. Okay. Anything else before I finally allow you to go and enjoy your evening after you've spent 2 hours with us? Chat. Send this man money. It's been 2 hours.
I got nothing else. I'm fully spent.
You're gassed. Okay. Chat. Follow him at Carpe Noctem. Be sure to join my Discord. Like, what do you want to chill? Carpe? Do you want to like your YouTube? What do you chill it? Do it. Do the thing.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. I got a YouTube, Carpe Noctem, same as Twitter. I've got Brave New Coin videos. I do 12 a week, so check those out. Brave New Coin is the name of the YouTube channel. We've got a non-custodial portfolio management tool called Enzyme. It's on enzyme.finance. You can send ETH or USDC, and it's basically copy trading. It's effectively what it is. You can check that out. Yeah, that's kind of it.
This is Josh. I pulled your face up.
It's me. It's my ugly face. That's me.
Oh, that's good. All right, Josh. Well, we appreciate having you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Anytime. You know you're always welcome. Thanks for nerding out with us.
Sounds good. Take care.
All right,
Take care, chat. See ya.